So pennos, but I think one of the letters in there might also be a P. Penpos. That doesn't sound right. I have no idea. So I have to do a little bit of digging on this. But it is marked 1970, and it is in beautiful condition, considering it's the same age as me. I don't look this good.
Well, if you got a dollar, well, just lousy down. You know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
Hey, this is Patrick, Trusty Mercantile. Welcome to my channel. I am on the road, but not that far from home this time. I had to travel a little bit to get my booster for my vaccine, COVID vaccine. So I decided to take advantage of visiting an antique shop that I have actually never visited before. I've done many around this one, and guess I just didn't know this one existed. So we shall see what I find on my little side trip to, I don't know, just says antiques, to an antique shop in Sandwich, Illinois. This is a fun one. Right when you walk in the door, there's this little shop, or this little case, and it's Parawax. Fruits and vegetables sealed with Parawax retain their natural flavor. Looks like it was a store display, I guess, because it looks like it holds multiple boxes of it, and then there's little instructions using Parawax for preserving, ironing, and washing. Well, that's kind of a little combo, isn't it? A little trifecta that you would not expect. So Parawax, evidently done by Standard Oil. Interesting all around. It is $98 for the display, which seems kind of reasonable. Kind of a fun little piece. So I don't do much, well, anything with Lionel trains, but as the trusty huckster, I love anything hucksterish and catalogs, and this is actually a Lionel catalog. I already had cracked it open and saw that it was copyrighted 1960. I saw also there's zip codes, single and two-digit zip codes in here, so knew it was between 48 and 63. So this is, I just think, a great snapshot of what they offered in 1960 and what they sold for. So you could buy the 3-car steam freight for 25 bucks. I have a feeling it's a lot more than that now. It's got color photographs because it's in illustrations, because it is 1960. So there's just some great art in here, even showing the little billboards that you could buy, space age training Navy, what the boxes looked like when you found them, just all the different box cars. This is just a lot of fun. I did do a little bit of looking online. It doesn't seem like it's super rare, but it's a good price, and so I'm actually going to pick this up, probably just sell it in the live sale, because there's a lot of them online right now to compete against. So this would be a nice thing to sell in a live sale, and some of the graphics in here are just so much fun. Whether you want to relive your childhood or gift it to someone so they could relive theirs. I just love the idea of seeing all the pieces that were available at the time. So nice little find at the Sandwich Antique Market. Here is an example of when it pays to know your Roman numerals, because it's a game board, fairly straightforward, a lot of different types of games on there. This is board B, and then on the other side, someplace it said board A. So you've got all these bright graphics and bright colors, pretty good condition, a little bit of wear along the edges. And I'm like, well, could this be something from the 70s? Is this one of those little game kits that you bought? So then you come in and your Roman numerals. You'll see MCM is 1900, XXS is 30, and then 8. So this is actually 1938. So we've got a pre-World War II copyrighted game board, and considering its age, in fantastic condition. And I just think that's a fun one that, you probably could research what the games are and try and figure out how to play them. But to me, this is just a perfect item to hang on a wall. So coming home, and I will be listing that, well, either listing it for sale or putting it into a live sale. We shall see, but I'm definitely picking it up. As always, I love following a deep dive or a triptych to go into a shop and find some of what we had been talking about. And not that long ago, Katie talked about her tobacco tin collection. And what I found interesting is she talked about a tin similar to this. I think hers was a Union Leader, but she called it the lunchbox style because it had the big handle on it. This one is something different. This is Worker Cut Plug. I don't know if Worker is the brand, but it's kind of got this cool, you know, like faux crocodile finish on it. It's all just metal. Got the little clasp, you know, to keep it closed. This is saying it is, yeah, the alligator look, yeah, Worker Cut Plug. So $75. I've never seen one, so I'm not going to challenge the price on it. It's something I'm clearly not going to pick up, but that is a neat find. But she talked primarily about her tins. This one is actually paperboard, so that's actually kind of interesting. I guess I'm not too surprised that that would exist. And then this one's glass, so maybe that one's a little bit later. But some fun items. And then this booth moves into still some tobacco, but then going into mixing with the coffee tins, and then even getting into tea tins. This is one I actually own thanks to Sam Doyen from Dining at Sea. He got me that as a gift for my collection. I was looking at this one, kind of got a cool look to it. Not huge into the green, but the art is still very cool on this. But at $48, this one's going to stay behind. I'm not really going to spend that much to put something that I'm not positive will look great in my collection. But not questioning the price, just questioning whether I would pick it up. So some cool tins here at the Antique Mall. But just over to the side in the same booth is this all brass tea canister. I've never seen anything like this. It's got the repoussé designs, you know, embossed on it, plus engraved on all four sides with some cool imagery. And it's $7. So that is coming home with me. So I almost walked by this one. I almost never see these in the wild. So these are pewter measures, or this is a pewter measure. This happens to be the haystack form. I literally only have one of them. I got it from Iowa City Antiques. And I will say by the looks of this one, this is not as old as some of my collection. It's not marked, but I think the reason this one's not marked is it probably had a sticker on it. It doesn't have the patina of an old piece of pewter, and it's not marked with its measure size. It does have what's trying to be a hallmark, but the W, I believe, makes this Wilton pewter. So I'm not going to pick this up. It is only $8. But I want to have the quality in my collection, so I think I'll just have to keep looking. But I wanted to show it because it's just not something you come across very often. So, a little bit of explanation is needed. The clips that you just saw were recorded about a month ago. Oops, I forgot about them. So I was doing some other work, doing some other videos, and suddenly, oh, what are these? And totally forgot that I had filmed the Shop With Me videos that you just saw. What I was doing at the time was I'd filmed the videos and then I needed to do a conclusion because from that store I was going to go to another store and the other store ended up being closed. So I ended up never actually filming a wrap-up video. So I meant to then, oh, I'll just do like a little mini haul video. I bought a couple things and well, I forgot. So we have some clips, and I always struggle to get content out anyway. So I didn't want those clips to go to waste. So I did purchase some of those items. Some of the items you saw I've actually already sold, but I do have a little bit of a haul video I will throw in that it's not just from that day, but it's a couple of items that I think are worth showcasing. One of the items that I picked up, which I'm absolutely in love with, is this Greek plate. It is marked Rhodes, 1970, geometric K. And then we're getting into the Greek lettering. So I think that is a P and then an E, something, something, OS. So Penos, but I think one of the letters in there might also be a P. pen posts. That doesn't sound right. I have no idea. So I have to do a little bit of digging on this. But it is marked 1970, and it is in beautiful condition, considering it's the same age as me. I don't look this good. So this was just a fun little piece. It is pottery. I don't normally pick up Greek pottery because I don't really know anything about it. Can't even pronounce the names. Have to go back to my days of fraternities and sororities and see if I can figure out the letters. But it was just such great condition, and I thought that the design on it was really kind of cool. So I picked it up. So that'll probably end up going into an eBay listing. Another item I picked up, this one's actually for me. I have a small collection of tea tins, and this one, I've never had a shape like this before. So I picked this up. I'd like the smaller ones because at this point I'm just putting them in a bowl, and the bowl is starting to get too full. But I just like the shape, and so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and eventually they are going to go up on a shelf. I just haven't installed yet. So this is vanilla tea, 2.5 ounces, Kwangsong Tea Company, Hong Kong. I don't know if there's anything on here that would indicate the age. I mean, I do think there is some age to it because there was even a little bit of rust, toward the bottom. So I mean, this is older. I just have really no idea how old it is. But thought it was kind of some cool colors. I like the shape. So that's actually staying in my personal collection. Also, currently destined for my personal collection, but only until I do a kind of a recorded version of a deep dive. I picked this piece up, and at first glance, it's going to be like, why did you pick this up? But I picked this up. It's a nice little, shot glass or toothpick holder. And it's of a church that I know nothing about. It says THISTED. Thisted? Okay, I have no idea. I'll have to look that one up too. But it is, or maybe that's an E. And maybe that's an L and an H. Yeah, I really need to get my glasses. Anyway, whatever it is, it's somewhat irrelevant because the reason I picked this up is for the mark on the bottom. It is a Lillian porcelain piece. I have a collection of Lillian porcelain that I fell in love with when my daughter and I visited Vienna in 2019. I went to one of their flea markets and picked up a piece of Lillian porcelain, did some research on it. I was fascinated by it, some mid-century modern looks. This is actually one of the earlier marks. And then once I got back to the United States, discovered it's actually really hard to come by. And this is only the second piece I have ever found in the wild. It just doesn't exist. Because it was basically, they did a lot of restaurant wear and hotel wear and more utilitarian pieces in Austria. So it's one of those cases that in Austria it's relatively common, which is why I found it at the flea market, and I only paid a couple euro for it. But there are pieces that are more collected. They did some beautiful shapes. I've got a beautiful coffee cup and saucer set, and I'm going to be doing a video showcasing all of that because it's just not something you run across very often. And so I like to educate it on this side because there is a book on Lillian porcelain, and the entire thing's in German. So my daughter did help me translate it to a little bit, but it's, again, European porcelain, makes these stamps really easy to research. The company didn't even start until the 50s, so it's definitely a mid-century modern type thing. This was probably a souvenir cup for whatever this church is, just as the gold designs to it. It is an earlier mark, so I do think this puts it into the late 50s, maybe early 60s, based on the gold, that kind of jives. But super excited to pick this up because, like I said, I just don't do it. I don't come across them very often. Once I do the video, I will probably end up selling all of the pieces that I collected because what I did once COVID started is I went on a buying spree and I purchased one item of every stamp that they produced in. And I do believe that collection is now complete. I just need to sit down and do the video. So that's what this was from. So, kind of a unique piece, but fun all the same. If people watch my video, you know that I do love my ephemera. This was actually a very recent purchase,
But I am showing it here because the reason I picked this, or it actually wasn't even the reason I picked it up. It was just a coincidental thing. I happened to have picked this up the same day I confirmed a guest for one of Katie and my duo dives coming up, and the duo dive is going to be talking about shipping. And here's a guide to sending your packages. Now, this is going to be nothing to do with UPS and US Postal Service. This happens to be the Railway Express Agency. So there's just some really cool graphics in this. Sending your packages. There's just little illustrations, as you go through it. For your complete through service. So I've never shipped anything via the rail. So, you can ship your pet. So just some cool, fun graphics. Probably end up in a mystery box. Maybe I'll sell it individually because the graphics are kind of cool. But it was really just one of those cases that I found it the same day I was planning a duo dive on shipping. So I felt it was like karma smacking me in the face saying, you should buy this. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but smack, I bought it. And then the last item is actually also a much more recent purchase, but as everything is, because I forgot those videos existed. So these, I'm going to have to do a little bit of research, and if anyone has any suggestions, I am more than open to taking them. But I bought a bag, and amazingly, from what I can tell, these are all in good condition, a bag of these little pieces of pottery that have these bird designs on them. So there's some with single birds in different colors. In the rectangle, there's some oval shaped one. That's got green birds, another one that's got blue birds, and then there's also a floral shaped with a bird on it. All of them are glazed in the same way, where the glaze kind of goes around to the outside, but the bottom was not. So when they fired it, this is what sat on the base, so it didn't basically glue itself to the shelf. So they're all ceramic. They pre-pierced these two holes in here on every single one of them. Now, that one appeared to have been, somebody was drunk when they did that one. Most of them are a little bit more lined up, although they were drunk on that one too. And that one. All right, none of them are straight, but they're like straight-ish. This is probably the most straight. I don't know exactly why they're here, but my thought is maybe that they were designed to be ornaments. That you could kind of string a piece of twine or something through there and make a knot to it and you could hang. The other option would be you could kind of put a really thin ribbon, because the holes are very small. You could put a little thin ribbon and maybe tie a tiny little bow on there, but that would be very difficult, and any size bow that you'd be able to tie would probably be really large. So maybe like a pre-made, so I don't know. And every one of them has the two holes, so it's like they're there on purpose. So my guess is ornaments. Nothing about these say Christmas, but if you got suggestions, I'd be open to them. Now, from what I can tell, none of them are signed with an artist's name on the front, and I have yet to find anything on the back that is an obvious signature. There's a couple like marks, but I think those are just from when they made the pottery. I maybe overpaid for these because I'm also not 100% sure how old these are. I'm not sure if they're American or if they're imported. I have no idea. I just thought these were cool. If you've watched my show enough, I do like pottery, I do like porcelain, I do like glass, so I do like to sell it on occasion. A lot of times I keep it for myself. I don't necessarily want to keep these for myself, but I did want to make sure they go to a good home, because these are all hand done. Just by the shapes, you can tell they're actually even hand, formed. These deserve to go into someone's collection, whether they stay as a set. I think I've got 12, a total of 12. So whether they stay as a set or I divide them up and make little sets to, go in multiple homes, I haven't yet decided that yet. But I would be interested if anybody has any suggestions on these holes. Again, they're all, based on the way the art is, they're always at the top. Some are straighter than others, but they're always at the top, and they're purposely made. So they would have been pierced at the time the clay was formed, and then the glaze went into the hole. So these were not drilled after the fact. These were planned. Unless it's something to be able to hang them, I don't know what else you would use it for. So I like the idea that these could be hung. I just don't know, why? Why would you hang them? I guess if you had a nature-themed Christmas tree, I don't know. And you don't have to have all Christmas-themed ornaments. I have keychains hanging on my tree in some cases. So you never know. So those were the items that I picked up. I apologize for the kind of haphazard approach of one set of videos for shopping and then a completely unrelated collection of haul video. But again, that was weeks ago. I've had a haircut and I've shaved since then, so things have changed. I just figured I wanted to get the video out, and I did want to showcase some of these because these were some fun finds that I hadn't shown yet. So I'm putting them out there for you. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the clips plus the little haul. If you have any comments on thoughts on those holes, I would definitely appreciate it. And hope you enjoy my channel. So I really do appreciate your time. I do appreciate you putting your trust in Trusty Huckster, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye, finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my way.